Sorry if there's like noises. There's like a water thing down here. I'm kind of just chilling because the rest of the house there's like people in it and stuff like that. So I gotta be like secretive. But there's this whole idea that I've had where I felt like the past, and not even that far back, like back in the past, but like a few years ago and stuff like that, that it wasn't the same life that I'm living now. I don't know if this is a thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, good thing, but ever since the numbness and all that stuff took over, it kind of felt like it detached whatever I lived 1 to 19 to anything I've lived since. So that it's not even that like, oh, you're growing up, or I'm not a child anymore, or not all the stuff that normally comes with growing up and all that stuff, but that it's just a different life that I just kind of, in a sense, restarted the game. Like I was just playing a game that I restarted. Now this is a new one, and it's kind of tricky when you're like, at least for me, my whole personality was developed pretty much towards someone that doesn't exist in this life that I'm living now. Like the person that died or whatever, so like that was a person I was most similar to in like literally every single aspect of my entire life. Literally everything, looks, personality, you name it, voice, like literally everything. So to not have that piece, like the piece that like pretty much everything I am is so strange. Because there's not even like I don't know. It's weird because it like go through like divorce and all that whatever stuff, but bounce between houses, and it kind of makes it tough to feel a sense of like place within, I don't know, like family environment when it feels like you're kind of in two different spots for your entire life. And so what I had with my dad was that place, like was where I fit in. So to not have that, it's like I love my family. They don't even, they're amazing. They do incredible things. They've provided so much, but it's like there's nothing they can do to change the way that my mind or the way I feel about this, because it's just a natural thing because of the way I felt with my dad. Like it's just how that affects this. And so I'm like, so being left without that and just having this false sense of identity kind of thing, I don't know, it's weird because I'm like, because it's not like there's like any problems. Like I get along good, I think, with like family and all that stuff, and there's not really anything to do with that. But it's just that like every time something just doesn't quite feel right. Like it's not nerves, not anxiety, not fear, not any of that kind of stuff. It's just one of those things where it's just like it's kind of tough. It's something that kind of, with this new life thing and the fact that I feel detached from whatever, it makes it tough to connect with family and all that kind of stuff in a way that's like all that deep, because I feel like, because I just don't have that kind of, I don't know, it doesn't feel like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just, it doesn't feel, it's tough when the most family thing I felt, the most connection I had to a person in my family is only there. So it's like, it kind of just, I don't know, it makes it so that I can't like rely on that to bring me fulfillment, if that makes any sense. It's like, I don't know, it like, I don't know, it's just a constant reminder. It's a constant reminder of what I lost, I feel like, a lot of times with the family and with that whole detachment of the past. It's like I talk about, I literally just, I just contradict myself if I can say that word, but I don't even know if it doesn't even feel like I lost anything, because it doesn't even feel like that was the same life. It just feels like now I'm just in a situation where this kind of environment doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like a family environment. It just feels, it's so strange though, because it's like, I mean, truth, like it's crazy. Like I think about it, and like all my family is amazing, stuff like that, but I'm only like quote unquote blood related to one person in my entire family. Like true. I mean, there's like step sisters or step parents or step whatever, but there's really only, my mom is the only like full like whatever that I got, because it was my mom and dad, and I was the only of that whatever. I was the only kid in that thing, and now I have like some that are like my mom and stepdad or stepmom and dad. But it's like, it's so strange to be bouncing between these situations where it's like, sure, I'm like, we got like whatever and stuff like that, but it's tough because I don't feel super similar. Like I don't feel, and if I didn't feel that with my dad, it would be different. But the fact that I felt it with my dad and then now I don't, it's so strange. Because I'm like, damn, like there's not like it's like, it's just the chemical DNA is just different. Like it's just different personalities. So it's like, it's weird because it's like because like I'll be around family that like I'm actually more reserved. I like kind of do my own thing, but I'm around family that like is the exact opposite. And it's like, and it's like, but there's just that lack of like whatever, versus like when I was with my dad and stuff like that, we kind of just had that deal going where we kind of understood it. So it's kind of weird. It feels a bit strange when it's like the family I'm around the most feels very different from me, like just personality, just why is it? It's not even like a bad thing. Like I'm not saying like other people or I'm anything. Like I'm just saying just genuinely personality, like the personality that we all have. I feel very different, and so it's like I feel like part of my life now, journey and stuff like that's finding people or finding things that make me feel or that have that kind of feeling of like understanding. Like I just kind of want like because when you feel misunderstood, it's kind of tough to connect. I feel like a lot of times, and like the people I've connected the most to are people that understood. I feel like for understanding and stuff like that, you don't need to like go through the same stuff or be in the same situation, environments and stuff like that. But it's just about like I don't know. I don't even know really what it is, but the times in my life that I think of that I've had the best relationships, best friendships and stuff like that, it's people that were like willing and able to like listen or talk or they had similar mindsets and stuff like that. And it's just so strange. It's just so weird that the person that had the most similarities to and all that stuff is just not present and is now seems like a figment of my imagination by this point because of this whole detachment thing. And I went on a whole tangent there, but the whole detachment thing is so strange because I mean I don't know if everyone goes through this, but since the like loss and all that stuff happened, it doesn't feel like anything's really happened in my life. Like outside of falling in love, which is a very fleeting thing. It was a very few months. It was only me. I was the only one that felt it. It wasn't a mutual thing. But after that, outside of that, like 4.5 years, it doesn't feel like anything's happened, and it's weird. I don't remember it feeling this way. Like I don't remember feeling like nothing happened. And it was for like minor stuff, like going through middle school, high school. I didn't really do much. Like I just played sports or whatever, and that felt like more things were happening than it does now. Even though I'm still like doing stuff, but I'm like it doesn't feel like it, and it's kind of tricky. It's kind of weird being on this ride of life where it's like okay, so in my mind now, or at least it feels like the past didn't exist, so that you can wipe that clean. So I've got 4.5 years of my life that feel like the same life I've been living, and I fell in love once. It was just me, but outside of that, I haven't really done anything. So it's like, what do I like? Like I struggle to find stuff to like find like how to like wire my mind with it, like excitement or joy or with like whatever. Because I'm like, okay, I know there's probably a half decent chance I'd fall in love again and have that stuff, and that would be amazing. But it's like, I mean, I have no idea what the timeline of that could be. So I don't really know, and then I don't know, like, okay, would it be a situation where, okay, that happens, and then she leaves, or I'll break up, or, like, is that just going to happen again? Like, is it, and I don't even know if that's a fear. Like, I genuinely, I think I'd rather go through that whole process again than to not have that. Like, I'd rather just get broken up with. I wasn't even in a relationship, but I'd rather get broken up with than be in this situation. But it's just strange to, like, try to think about, because I remember it being a lot easier to be excited and all that stuff for like simpler things, and I think the connection having the people like my dad in my life made it a lot easier because they elevated stuff. Like I go to the movies still, but when I went to the movies with him, it was like 1,000 times better. I watch TV shows, but I was like when I watched the shows with him, it was 1,000 times better. It's like a lot tougher, and so when that detachment starts, and that doesn't feel like the life I've been living, it makes it tough to know where to go, like where am I shooting towards, like where am I going towards with this life thing, if that was all I kind of, if all I've known really so far in these 4.5 years is mostly numb, mostly whatever, like what am I like, what should I be doing? And I think that's a good spot to be in, as crazy as it sounds, because you just let go and let life do whatever life does. But it's very tough to feel like all the life that you've known is this numb, exists like this nothingness, in a sense, a lot of isolation, just emotional isolation, all that stuff, where it's like people, there's been a lot of people affected or who've gone through the loss and all that stuff, but it's tough to feel like I can, like, I don't know, I'm struggling to find that connection point with the people in my life, because of the fact that I think the divorce plays a really big part in this, and not like, oh, I went through a divorce, it's terrible, but like that, like when I was young, it's for all I've known, I've been going between house to house, so it's like I'm kind of just, I feel like whenever I go between houses, I'm like putting on different faces or doing different things, because it's like, I remember even when the past stuff was happening, like I would just go up in my room and cry. And me and my mom had that connection point because she stayed good friends with him and all that stuff. But it's just so weird because she has like my stepdad and sisters, and then on the other side it's my stepmom and stepsister, and they got a little thing going. So I can kind of see both, but I don't really see where I fit in. And okay, that's one thing, all that stuff. But the tricky part I'm finding is that it's not that I don't see it. Like I just don't. I don't feel that thing. I don't feel that connection point that I had with my dad. Like I don't feel anything close to it. And obviously I know the numbness also plays a part, but it's like, it's strange because I'm like, I don't think, naturally there's this void that happens when you lose that kind of person in your life. So I haven't been able to fill the void with any family. Like I haven't been able to connect with family more to compensate for what I lost. It's like, because I've always, I like love my family to death and would do whatever, but it's like, damn, like I can't, like they just, it's like I got this puzzle thing, and they're all their pieces just are the same. Like they're the same person they've been for my entire life. Like they can't like be like compensate for what I lost. Like they're just who they are. And so it's like I'm trying to think of it's just tough to fill the void that happens when I've always just I felt this way about my family, and the way just the childhood and all that stuff went was that I love my dad so much, and we had that thing going to where I didn't really need, I was so dependent on him more so than anyone else that it was just my life. It was just how it went. So now it's like, dang, like I don't know what to fill that void with. Like I genuinely don't. And for that one time where I was in love and all that stuff, although it was only me, it did fill that void. Like it felt great, but it's like falling in love with someone. It's happened once, and I'm 23 and a half. I felt it one time, so I'm like, I don't have high expectations for that happening anytime soon. Like I just obviously believe in all this stuff, but it's like, it's just such a tricky spot. I don't know. I just been rambling about my family connections and stuff for a while instead of talking about the detachment from the past. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. I figure I probably just need to get this off of my chest. That's probably why I talked about this rather than just delving into the specificities. But if anyone else out there has gone through like a time where they like kind of went through the numbness or loss or grieving or just difficulties, challenges, anytime went through the process and felt this kind of detachment, just let me know about it. I don't think anyone's even going to be watching by now, but it's such a difficult thing to do, and especially when you feel that detachment from the past and you don't have anything to compensate for what you had back when. And that's the biggest problem I'm having right now, is not even that I'm like fearful or that I'm worried or this, that. I'm just like, what do I put in that, like what is in that void? Like what do I put in there when I lost love? Like love was the thing. So I'm like, in the meantime, do I just kind of cruise along just without just having that void in my life? Is it just there? Like, because it's so weird. Like I'm not like nervous or not like being like, oh, it's just like what do I do? Like what do I put there? when it was like he was my everything. So and that's why I've started doing and chasing any of these aspirations, dreams, stuff like that, is to try and, in a sense, make my way to like help make it look prettier, maybe make it look whatever. Because obviously I know that love is the thing, but it's like if I go after these aspirations, do these kind of things, stuff like that, and actually like do the things I want to do, then I'm more likely to feel better about myself in the meantime instead of going off the rails. I feel like if I'm not doing this stuff, I'm kind of asking to go off the rails because I kind of need to chase these kind of things in order to be in a better spot mentally and to have something worthwhile to live my life for in the meantime. Because if I had a relationship, stuff like that, my aspirations and all that stuff would likely not be as strong as they're. I think they're very strong because of the lack of love, lack of relationship. And that's why I think there's a blessing in the loss and even in the lost love that I had after the fact, is that it just motivates me more and more to do more stuff. And I can see why that's a good thing, but it's really tricky, and it makes your life feel very hollow in the meantime, especially when the 19 years before, the 19 years of childhood don't feel like they are even a part of this one. But I don't know, I it's weird, like there's been times where I've been very depressed, I've been very low, I've been struggling and stuff like that, and these circumstances are probably the toughest, I would say, about like, not only, okay, I went through the process of going to college, I went out to California, absolutely hated it, and then I came back. So I feel like it's worse because I was like, back when in college, I had that. I was like, you know what? Okay, this sucks, but I'm gonna go out to California. Maybe this initially is not great, but then I'll go there and stuff like that, and immediately shut down. I went there and it was like, I probably could have done more, but I like did like a little bit of clubs, played like football and did all that stuff, and it just, I can't express in words how it just wasn't. It wasn't it. It just wasn't it. And the same thing when I like looked at places in LA, it just wasn't it, which is funny why I'm going back in that area just within like a month. But it just was incredibly just like my expectations weren't even that high. They were like a little, but it was whatever. So I feel like this spot is tougher because I was like, okay, the thing that I thought could be a thing was not even remotely close. So what do I expect in terms of just where I live, like where I am, just like what are my expectations for how that will feel? Like it's just such a strange thing to talk about, and I'm sure the retention on this video is going to be like a solid minute, so there's no one here. But yeah, so if anyone out there dealing with attachment, dealing with all that stuff, let me know. I'll try to respond, do all that good stuff. But have a nice day. God bless.